Muted. Sorry.
Yeah, they can't hear. Welcome, everyone. We are working on some audio. So I hope you could hear me, and hopefully you'll be able to hear B-Dave in just a moment. Okay, looks like they could hear you, B-Dave. They could hear me. I wish I knew some good jokes for a moment like this, but I don't. So
Great. I've got an alfalfa hair. It's not cooperating,
Really
and every
like it.
time I go like this, it goes beep.
Oh, you're on all of us. We're all here.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I was gonna.
Oh, I see. That's what you meant by main screen.
Got you.
Yeah.
I was. Got
That's why
you.
I felt the need to address the hair before someone else did.
Okay.
I had to beat them to it.
There, I was going to go into a Golden Girls like Barovia picture.
If I may
it.
take
Okay,
this
all right.
moment,
Thank you
yes,
for being
Tatiana and
free.
Nahara will now be telling you everything that happens in Ravenloft. And here, kittens and puppies shoot out of pipes from the ground like Mario. But just cute things come out of there. No plants trying to eat you. Nahara?
Okay.
Yes, it appears as though out of the mist you hear bum 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 bum.
I believe you can all hear me right now, but it doesn't
Great.
mean you're going to be able to hear
Yes.
me when we default to the scene of just me and Nahara. So if you would, we're going to switch over a second of patience while I make sure that you can hear me there as well. So let us go back.
No. Oh boy. Yet is the big.
Okay.
No?
There we go. So you should be able to hear me as well.
I'm seeing a whole bunch of nopes.
All right, but well, just give us a thumbs up if you can hear me now, because the line's jumping now, so it should be good now.
Becca's telling me I should sing Four Non-Blondes right now. I
That's
don't know if I could do that on
legally-
Twitch.
Legally distinct.
A legally distinct version.
Right, yeah. 5 additionally not blonde people. Okay, but I believe
Yes.
everyone can
Or
see.
5 actual blondes.
I believe everyone can hear. Thank you all so much for your patience. Normally, when I start with a cold open, I'm always worried that people are going to be like, oh, I missed something. But no, pretty sure you were here from the very beginning. But for the sake of the edit and for the sake of the podcast, who will never know any of this happened, hello and welcome to the Black Dice Society. Nahara, oh, apparently I'm only left channel. Okay, hang on. Sorry, we're gonna fix this too here. So just so everyone knows, for your own edification, because I won't make you listen to me through one ear here, I have upgraded to Windows 11. And so this is the first time running OBS on Windows 11, and it's like, maybe not. So I'm actually going to bring us back to the main scene. So poor Nora is not on the hook here. All of you get to be incredible. I'm going to figure out how to switch this back to the mono input, which is what I need. So please talk amongst yourselves here.
So, what are your thoughts on being in Barovia thus far?
Seems like a nice place thus far. I mean, my thoughts are Brother Uriah's.
Brother Uriah, let's go with Brother Uriah.
Terrified. Constantly, more than usual.
We were hit with bam, dead body, bam, plague.
I'm a little upset because I tried to fight something and that thing was not a thing I could fight, which is upsetting. You can understand.
But you made his horse run away, which was very vital too.
Oh, yes. Yes. I think that thing was particularly nasty, so I'm glad it didn't manage to lay a glove on us.
Is it messed up to say I'm kind of into it?
No.
Yes.
I think I kind of
It is
like
messed
it.
up, but I'm not
Not a judge.
surprised.
Like not any specific part of it. It's just kind of got a vibe.
Do we know Valentine's type now? Let's talk about Valentine's type.
Was there any question of Valentine's type up until now? All right.
I thought Valentine
I say
was
this all the
ace, but I
time.
mean-
Valentine is power sexual, and that's it. She's only attracted to power.
That's
I
fair.
mean, that is a valid
It makes
way of
sense
being.
why we're very good friends.
You know, so I believe you should be hearing
Extremely
me through both
powerful.
audio channels, but honestly, I'm just going to check a couple of other things, because if that defaulted in OBS, I don't know what else defaulted in OBS, so I'm just going to check
this
some
is
stuff before we
most
dive
popular technical difficulties currently on Twitch.
in. Yeah.
I hear audio coming through all channels.
Excellent. Is the stream smooth? Because I'm seeing some settings that I don't think are the way I'd customize them. So are we? Well, we
Looks
should be.
clear.
We should
It's
be
looking good.
We should
It
be.
looks sexy.
Yeah, we should be brought. It's because of all of you. Yeah, we should be broadcasting in 1920. We are not in 4K. It should be all good. Just chat, if you would, just give me
In the Ravenloft hood.
one last thumbs up that you can see and hear all of us smoothly, and then we're gonna get into this. So we're good. You guys are looking at chat. I'm not. Everything's good.
Yes,
Right.
everything's good in chat. Chat says we're coming through a touch lower quality than normal. We're at 720p instead of 1080. But hey, we're already live, so we can't fix that. That's
I
next
see
time's problem.
1080.
Yep.
I see 1080 on both.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just know.
Well, no, I see 720 on Twitch. But
Yeah, I've got
1080
720
YouTube.
on Twitch.
Yeah, no, the output's 1920. The output is 1920.
Interesting.
Oh, we're
Yeah.
going through
Yeah.
Barovia.
It's
1920.
20.
Womp, 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 womp.
Yeah, no, it is
There
correct.
are many people saying that things are good. Smooth as butter, one person actually said.
Yeah,
That is Twitch problem.
yeah, I think it is a Twitch problem, because
Yeah.
it should be coming out. It should be coming out at 1920. So okay, all right. Thank you all. Apologies. There's some of these things you can't test until we're actually doing it. So sorry about that. And with that, let me. I'll tell you the rest of that later. So let us go back to Nahara. And again, for the sake of the edit and the podcast, who doesn't know that any of this happened, hello and welcome to the Black Dice Society. Nahara, you find yourself alone in an unfamiliar woods. It is not the flat ground and scraggly pine trees of Barovia. This place looks hilly, with trees wide enough that 2 or 3 people could hide behind them. There is thick, mossy grass that extends up to your ankles, and you can barely make out the stars overhead. When you look down at yourself, you are wearing something unfamiliar. It looks like your body as far as you can tell, but you are wearing black riding leathers that are dusty and ripped and have blood on them.
What is this? Where am I?
As you look around, a feeling of existential dread comes over you, and you hear a single twig break somewhere nearby as if something is walking through the woods.
Do I feel as though I can cast spells? Like if I like looking down at my hands?
You do feel like you have access to power of some sort, but it is unusual. It feels like perhaps the shadows themselves would be yours to command were you to try it.
Who's there?
You won't get away. Not again. And a pair of red eyes open behind you in the darkness.
Show yourself.
A large, shaggy, monstrous form emerges from the darkness. A lycanthrope that would normally put Desmond's size to shame, but is comparable to when you saw him shift in the full moon in the Feywild. Slowly makes its way out into a small patch of moonlight.
What is it that you want?
I've been sent to retrieve you. Will you come willingly, or...
Retrieve me? By who?
My master, your master. And it starts walking towards you on all fours, low like it is prepared to pounce.
I have no master. As like I ready an Eldritch Blast in my hand.
As you reach out to summon those supernatural green flames, instead what comes to you are pooling black masses in both palms. And it turns and looks at you and says, "Haven't you learned by now? That won't help. Haven't we done this dance enough times?"
Apparently not. Who are you?
I would tell you, but you'll just forget again. And it goes to pounce at you.
Whatever it is that I have in my hand that's not an Eldritch Blast, I will hurl at this creature.
Go ahead and just roll your attack for me.
Okay. Oh, no. That's not good. 13.
You attempt to manifest this power, and it feels strange in your hands as black beams launch out into the darkness, hitting trees and shattering them. But this creature just flies right through it and grabs you around the neck with a huge claw.
Let go of me!
And lifts you up off the ground and looks at you and says, "You made it hard this time, but we always end up right back here." And it turns your head and sniffs you and says, "This face, this scent, again. How?"
Don't know what you mean. Let go of me.
It puts you down on the ground and stands towering over you and looks down at you and says, "I think we'll do it differently this time. I'll give you a choice. You can come willingly, or I'll give you one last head start before I drag you back."
All right. Where are we going?
Back to Barovia. Back to Castle Ravenloft. Back to your home.
I'm in Barovia.
Does this look like Barovia to you? If you intend to confuse my mind again, it won't work. I'm much stronger now.
You said it was home?
Yes.
How? How do you know it's my home?
I should just write all this down so that you can read it next time without us having to go through this same thing over and over.
Well, perhaps if you didn't threaten my life from the moment I saw you and just explained yourself, maybe I would know what's going on.
Of course you are. In Nahara, you hear and an arrow hits you in the neck and goes straight through. And he actually reaches forward and tries to grab you. No, not again. She can't get away again. Ah! And as you feel awareness start to fade, up in the tree, you see a raven holding a crossbow that looks you dead in the eye and just nods. And there is nothing but darkness. And hello, and welcome to the Black Dice Society, Season 2, Episode 3, Wheels Within Wheels. Thank you all for joining us here. As always, the Black Dice Society is a horror game. As such, there might be content and situations in this game that you won't find in other streams. As always, I am aware of the cast lines and veils, what they are comfortable and uncomfortable with. We have a safety system in place so that if something happens and someone is uncomfortable, they can let me know. So it may be that a scene shifts abruptly because maybe somebody's getting a little squicked out. And that's okay, because the most important thing is that everybody feels safe and have a good time, even when objectively terrible things are happening. Also, Tanya's not with us this week. She is off doing guest of honor things, being ballerish. Hopefully she will join us again next week. The year is truly back in full swing as we're all being pulled in a lot of different directions. Before we dive into our sponsors, and now that we have this firmly in mind, let us meet the rest of our cast, starting with this angelic person that you have just met, Nahara.
Hello, everyone. I'm Nora Ibrahim. You can find me everywhere on the internet at Noralogical. My pronouns are she, her, as is my character, Nahara, who is a reborn, fallen Azamar undead warlock with a little bit of College of the Spirit Bard.
And Brother Uriah.
Hello, I'm Mark Mir. I use he, him pronouns, as does my character, Brother Uriah Macabre, Cleric of Ezra and Cleric of the Grave.
I realized you only got slightly tongue-tied there, but I swear for a second I heard Marky Mir. And
Marky Mir, that's
just curls with the cinder blocks, you know?
No, it was Mark Mir, which is more embarrassing because it's me searching for my own last name.
Yeah, you're like Mark O'Mear of Clan O'Mear, you know?
Mark O'Mear.
Hi, it's Mark O'Mear. He's such an end for us tonight. Perfect. We'll come down the horn here to Desmond.
Oh, hi, I'm DJ Knight. You can find me pretty much everywhere on the internet at DJ Knight. I am Desmond, a human ranger lycanthrope who's, just a fan of being around, wrecking some stuff. Also, you're awesome. Thanks for hanging out with us. Our pronouns are he, him.
Excellent. Valentine.
Hello, I am Sage Ryan. I go by Not Sage or Pixel Circus everywhere on the internet, and I am playing Valentine tonight. Valentine is a reborn aberrant mind sorcerer with just a dash of rogue, and we both use she, her pronouns.
I'm gonna say that just one alfalfa hair that you got back there.
It's
That's how you connect to the collective, though. That's
It's just living its own life. This itself is my antenna to the god brain.
you can't.
If I could squeak laugh, I would squeak laugh upon seeing that. There it is.
There it is.
I got you.
Thank you for.
I have practiced. It is impossible. It is a difficult, adorable thing you do.
But I so desperately want to hear. No, I couldn't stop it if I tried, but I desperately want to hear you try. To everybody who says my laugh is fake, I dare you to try it.
It's really hard. I just needed to know.
That's how you find out it's involuntary.
I've seen it enough times when you desperately didn't want it to know it is real.
Yeah, my characters aren't supposed to squeak.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's like trying to stifle a cough in public here during the plague times, because as we were just discussing, coughing is mad embarrassing now. You know, you're just like,
Yeah. Faux pas.
no tears. You know? I promise I'm okay.
I'm good. Don't worry about it.
Last but certainly not least, Tatiana.
Hi, everybody. My name is Becca Scott. So glad you're here. As DJ always remembers, so thank you. I remember this time. Well, just kidding. I should do this faster. Hi, I'm Becca Scott. Find me at the Becca Scott, or you can find me at Good Time Society. But here I am, Tatiana. Tatiana, she does not give F's about most things except for friends and fighting and another favorite thing of hers, food.
Food. Yeah.
The only F's good.
You're right.
Okay, maybe more F's. She gives lots of F's. I am an Ergenazi barbarian and a druid.
You know, we haven't arranged a hookup for Tatiana in too long, honestly. I will say I got the note that you guys said I was a little quiet. I've just upped the gain. It looks like I'm loud on here. I don't want to like blow anybody's ears out, so let me know if I gotta up it more. I will. But the problem is it very quickly becomes like
Sounds good to me.
you know, while I'm doing it here. So perfect. One last thing, we do have the Idle Champions code incoming. It may actually already be appearing in chat. Completely my fault that for failing to account for the linear nature of time and that it is a new month and that means I have to request new codes. But I sent up a distress signal and the good people at CNE said they would take care of it. So maybe it is happening in chat right now. Maybe I'm going to get it and give it to you later. So thank you there. Thank you to Idle Champions, as always. Thank you to Die Hard Dice. As I revealed last week, we have our new Dark Lord's Dice that I'm afraid is going to cover up Becca's face real quick. Sorry, Becca. I love your face. Oh, where'd it go? Is it not? Boom. There it is. Our Dark Lord's Dice, which are available now at Die Hard Die. The Vampire Lord, Dark Bride, and Lich King. You can use code BDS to get 10% off our incredible, they're wonderful. They're like big old chunky metal babies that are available now, or anything else that is incredible at dieharddice.com. There we go. Also, perfect. It was beautiful. Beautiful, Becca. Work of art there. As always, Secret Lab
I'm a real Vanna White.
That is true. You're Vanna Blue right now. Vanna Blue. Yes.
There we go.
Secret Lab chairs, of course, love mine. Love Mr. Mark Meir loves his. Cool kids have Secret Lab chairs. Tanya's got hers too. Links down there below if you're thinking about maybe shopping for something for President's Day. Highly, highly, highly recommend mine. Warriors of Waterdeep. Code should be appearing in chat, but just like I messed up the Idle Champions code, there's a real chance I messed up the Warriors of Waterdeep code. That is 100% on me, but if so, I will take care of it. Again, our TeePublic store is live. Shirts, bags, masks, pillows, anything that you want. Mugs. We still have our wonderful art museum quality canvases here, which now you might know where you've these faces, they got matching dice, so you can be a real baller and say that you've got art that matches your dice. You know, who can say that? You can. If you what? Although hopefully I didn't just break mine. I used to be able to say it, maybe I can't now. And last but not least, we have a Patreon, where we host our exclusive after show, do giveaways on occasion, get early access to audio versions, and Patreon exclusive content that you literally cannot get anywhere else. And thank you all so much to all of our patrons. You literally make it possible to do what we do. And with that being said, on with our show. To say you awaken with a start would be somewhat of a misnomer in that you don't actually sleep. However, the genuine sensation of being murdered jolts you back to consciousness as you find yourself propped against the wall in the charitably hovel that you all were sleeping in during the night near the barn. You see Brother Uriah sleeping nearby. There is no sign of Finn. Maybe it was her turn to go on watch. Everyone else seems to be accounted for, with Valentine also having her far-off gaze in another side of the room. But as far as you can tell, she has not returned just yet. The gloom seems to be parting into as much as pre-dawn ever seems to get in Barovia. You do hear the idle clucking of chickens and farm animals that seem to be getting underway. That is your only real indication that you are in the very, very early pre-dawn hours.
Nahara looks around the room. Generally, she would want to speak to Uriah, but given the things that she has heard, doesn't know how to quite tell him yet. And so she looks over and sees Tatiana snoring, and she'll just kind of loom over her for a moment.
It is almost envious by how peacefully Tatiana sleeps. Like, you know, when you have dogs or babies, when they sleep, they leave the just deep impression in the mattress as they are just so utterly relaxed. It's just, no matter where you go, no matter how bad things get, when Tatiana sleeps, she sleeps.
And Nahara will sort of brush her hair aside very gently and almost in a motherly way, in a very caring fashion. And then we'll nudge her awake. Tatiana.
Oh, shh. Bunnies. There were bunnies. Where are the bunnies?
I don't know if there are any bunnies.
Catch them quickly. They wanted to cuddle.
Could I speak to you outside for a moment? Is that all right? Just don't wake anyone else up.
No, of course. Yes. Let's go.
Okay.
Should I bring weapons?
I would assume always bring weapons, yes.
Oh, good. I'm still wearing them.
Okay. Ooh, really?
Yes, I sleep in them. It's actually less comfortable for me to not sleep on hard metal.
All right, I have some follow-up questions, but probably later. Could you come outside real quick?
I get up and follow her.
As you all make your way outside, again, it continues to look as described. The fog that had come rolling out of the trees has retreated somewhere into the distance, and you have a bit more visibility as you see a couple of the farm hands who strength is returning, in no small part to Brother Uriah's medical treatments, have come out and started tending to the animals and sort of give you a friendly wave from the distance, but you see no immediate threats or ominous ravens in trees. It looks like you are as safe and as private as you're ever going to be in the land of Barovia.
Tatiana, something's happened last night, and kind of while I not slept, and
Can we talk about how you never have things to tell just to me?
I mean,
I'm honored.
I feel like maybe you'd be the best ear. I just don't know what to do. And I feel like you have more insight than I think you give yourself credit for. You're very, your approach to things is quite different from mine, and sometimes that could be very refreshing. And I think I could use a little bit of advice.
Go on. Wise Tatiana will help.
So, I had a moment yesterday, last night, where I gazed into the crystal orb that I was given. And I had a moment where I saw and heard, where I heard the Count. And it
Are you going to
terrified-
crush him in glorious battle?
Shh. I mean, yes, that's the goal. That's what I'm hoping for, but he said something that's been just echoing in my mind just since I heard it. He called me beloved, and I found out that the first life that I had was here with him somehow. And so I feel very conflicted because I thought about it, how can one, is it even possible to truly love someone and forget about them entirely?
There is a lot to unpack here, Nahara.
I know.
First of all, your scribble should not work two ways. Secondly, you would, even in a past life you don't remember, hook up with someone like this Count?
I don't, that's the thing, I don't know. But he seemed, I mean, he used those words with conviction, and he's quite angry at Brother Uriah for reasons, obviously. And I just don't know what does this mean? Did I have some sort of history? Did I love him? Did I have this history with him? And even if I did,
Hold on right there, Nahara. You are like nervous, excited. You are like loving this attention.
I
Admit it. You felt something when the Count looked in your ball and saw you.
that's the thing.
Oh my God!
Maybe. But I feel terrible because now what does that mean? With how everything I feel for Uriah, what does that mean now? And I don't currently feel anything for the Count, but what if I did? And I'm just torn because what if that means that someday I wake up and I completely forget about Uriah? How could that happen to me? How could you love someone so much and just completely forget about them?
Okay, don't hyperventilate. Sit on this stump. And I
Okay.
put her on the stump. And I put her head between her knees, but it's mostly just giant wings that are visible now.
Okay.
Breathe. Breathe. I think I should tell you a little story of when I was in the fighting pits in Kashmar.
Okay.
There were many other fighters, strong ones. Herculo was my lover for many years. Very firm, very kind of the opposite of Uriah. You know, just like picture that. Anyway, no offense. He's a very sweet man. That's the problem. Anyway, of my type.
Okay.
There was a new fighter, svelte, lithe, Petriki. And Petriki and Hercule, they both vied for my affections. And you know what happened?
What happened?
I gave them both my affections. You see, love, it's not something that must be selfishly guarded. And when you give to one, you can't give to another. No, love is a magical thing. When you give it, you just have more to give. Do you follow?
I think I follow, yes. But what if the very big rivals, I mean very big rivals, huge rivals,
Petricchio and Herculo, they fought one time and it was very bloody. Both of them almost died. They had to sew Herculo's neck back on. But I don't know what my point is here. It was hot. So sorry. Your situation is more serious.
It's no, I know. I don't mean to miscount everything you're saying is valid. I just don't know what to do. I don't know how to tell Uriah. How do I tell him?
Don't tell him. Don't tell. Okay, well, I leave that to you. I think when you tell him, you should tell him that this you, now reborn with these memories, is the one that loves Uriah.
Okay. You're right.
The question is, what do you want to do? If we don't kill your previous beloved and something develops.
That's the situation. You see, I sort of vowed to help my patron destroy the very man that I had once, I think, had been in love with. Maybe? I don't.
Who is your patron?
And with message, I'll send Aslan Rex.
This makes sense. So because you're rotating his clone, so that's that makes sense.
It's so complicated. And I don't
Your
know.
life is drama, girl.
Yes. And I want to tell Uriah, but I don't know how to tell him. Because I'd feel terrible keeping all of this from him. And at the same time, I don't know how he would react or if Aslan should find out. But maybe he knows.
I stroke her wing. I think you are underestimating Uriah's emotional maturity. The most important thing to Uriah is you, Ezra, and helping people in that order.
Right. And perhaps you're right. It doesn't matter what lives I have led. What matters is now, and the feelings I have now, and the feelings I have for him. Yes. All right. I don't know how to tell him, though. I don't know. I might need to take some time, but I should tell him.
I did find a flagon in the back of this barn. So, if you want to, I'll have a drink with you later. It's a little early right now, but
I don't know if I can get drunk anymore, but I will try.
That's difficult. Maybe if you take it, you'll feel. Just do what I do.
Yes.
Just go in there and tell Uriah. And bring your inner Tatiana.
Yes.
And picture Herculo when I told him about Patricki.
Yes. That's what I need to do. I need to be more like you. I need to channel my inner Tatiana and sort this out somehow.
All right. It is early though, so push-up contest.
1, 2, 3, go. Go.
Meanwhile, while you all are outside, inside Valentine, you find yourself on that same windswept plain of scoured, crumbling rocks in impossible shapes. And in the sky, what looks like a moon, but you've come to realize over time is a single hazy, unblinking eye.
As always, I'm just staring straight into it.
You know, intellectually, you are here for 3 to 4 hours at a time. separated from the real world. You have some vague awareness of the state of your body, of whether or not you're in danger or if the room you're in is on fire. But here in this place, here in Blootspur, time passes erratically. Have you been here minutes or have you been here years? It's hard to say until finally you do hear echoing all around you, Valentine.
Yes.
We are nearing a pivotal moment in my plans.
And what might that moment be?
You will stand before von Zarovich soon.
Ah, yes.
Your presence has not escaped his eye.
I figured as much.
Valentine, you are my champion, my diplomat.
And what is it you expect me to do when I stand before Stradivan Zarovich?
I expect you to serve me.
I'm going to need you to be a little more specific.
I thought you were done being a puppet. Must I spell everything out for you?
Well, one of these days, if you decide to let the slug slither out of my brain that puppets around in my head on the day-to-day, we can revisit that idea. But for now, if you need something for me, we're going to use our words.
Such will, such spirit.
Doesn't sound like a puppet.
That is why I'm giving you a bit more slack on your strings. I will rule Barovia as I will rule all things. But there are constraints the powers have placed upon me. Constraints you do not possess. You walk among all of them.
I do. So, you expect me to walk into Stradivan Zarovich's castle and, what, kill him?
Killing von Zarovich is not the hard part.
No.
Keeping him dead is the hard part. I expect you to do what is in your own best interests, of course, as long as your interests align with mine. You will have power beyond your wildest dreams.
I know. I can assure you that I will always do what is within my best self-interest. And if you intend in any way to see Stradivan Zarovich fall, then what are you going to offer to assist me?
He is aware of our connection. He is aware that he does not wish open war against me and the Lich, and now the bride. Fool though he is to believe he would be able to defeat us all. He knows such a conflict would be costly. Perhaps diplomacy is the solution. Although I do not know that all of your companions wish to treat with one who has inflicted so much harm.
Interesting. Well, I don't control them, and neither do you, but...
I could if I wished. None escape my will, Valentine.
So true. You see it all. Well, I will most certainly approach with the diplomacy you request.
There is one thing that unites us all. Wherever we came from, whatever our power, whatever domains we rule over now, we all wish to leave in time, as my reach in will extends not just across the domains, but to the stars and planes. There will be no limit to the lands that you can rule over, Valentine, and the number of sentients that will bend the knee to you. Remember this.
I will. It's a very appealing offer. I won't forget it.
I understood what you were before you did, Valentine.
Did you?
Which is exactly why I brought you back. And Valentine, you snap to consciousness in the room. As you can see out through a window, Tatiana and Nahara doing push-ups. Brother Uriah still sleeping peacefully. And Desmond doing that thing he does every morning where he's very much awake but pretends to be asleep for a few minutes just to listen in.
I'm going to stand up and go outside to see what the push-ups are about.
What number are you at by now?
347, 348, 349. What's the next number?
Rough morning, ladies?
340, and then she was going to wave with one of the wings and then falls over.
That kind of day, huh?
Vascular wings going now. Like good, excellent wing pump. Yeah.
She's swole.
I stand up and try to say hello, Valentine, but my arm is just jelly. Just starting the morning with training.
Mm-hmm. I support you, but I'll never understand.
But we worked on you, and you're sneaking, you know?
That is true, and I support you always. I just am never going to do a push-up.
Do what?
It's fair.
I guess these aren't really. It isn't for any of that. And I'll just kind of like kick the door to where everyone is sleeping and be like, I guess we're awake now.
Are they all awake?
You always have the best wake-up calls.
The only one who snaps awake from this is Uriah. Desmond was, of course, already awake.
Yes, good morning, everyone. That was actually restful. I can scarce believe it, given what we've encountered so far here. How is everyone doing? I must check on my patients. I am the doctor, after all.
Everyone's doing much better because of you.
Yeah, they looked fine.
Uriah, you also see out the window. A couple of them have taken to the fields, honestly against your advice. You told them they still needed to rest, but they at least seem capable of some limited work. You realize some of them are still going to be under the weather in the barn, though.
Very well. Well, it does seem that they're at least on the road to recovery. I think we can move on. I shall leave them with some herbal remedies and poultices and such. The disease was not of a magical nature, so this should help them.
Give me a medicine check, if you would. Desmond.
Can I give him guidance?
Yes, you absolutely
thank
can.
you.
Desmond.
Sweet.
So I'll be adding 1d4 to this?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Because I can cast it at a distance.
Desmond.
Okay, so that is 22 plus 24 total.
you realize you'll be able to set them up through the springtime, and even if there's a relapse, you haven't solved all their problems, but you've solved this one, Uriah. Desmond,
Yeah.
as you reach for your sword, as you always do, you find a small piece of parchment wrapped around it.
Oh, this isn't Rose. And he just like opens it up.
It says, "Don't wait for me. I'll catch up, Finn."
Okay, cool. I was worried. Every time Rose has anything to say, we have some sort of existential crisis. So, all right, everybody. He just starts to yell to everybody as he's walking out. Finn says she'll catch up. She's going to do something. I have no idea what it is, but she's capable.
Sounds like Finn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
sounds like Finn.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad
We'll
she's
see her
all
when we
right.
see her.
Honestly, most things in these woods should be more scared of her.
Yeah,
Truth.
you're not
Yes,
wrong.
I mean, she seemed remarkably unperturbed by this place. And moreover, she didn't seem to have much trouble walking through the woods. Not that we did, the same we did anyway.
True, yes.
Yes, it could
It's
be.
kind of.
Thing
She
could be,
said
as
something
was
about-
pointed out. Finn kind of should be scaring everything in those woods. So
But wolves? That was unusual. Remember, she said they.
she is friendly with me though. So I don't know if that really fits.
That is true.
It actually does feel like
The-
we've kind of entered her jam.
Yeah,
You know?
Yeah.
you all do know that she's got at least a little of the beast in her too. That you saw it in the Feywild.
Yeah.
In fact,
Valentine.
I'd get really close to Desmond and say, "You're not the only one with wolf in her." And then I flash claws for a moment.
Desmond
Valentine.
was like, you could just be whatever you wanted though. So it's not just wolf. You know.
Well, that's true. I was a snake yesterday. Did you see?
No, I didn't. That's awesome.
First time being
Valentine,
a snake.
if you would give me an insight check.
Feels like that's not going to be a good thing. That is a 21.
Valentine, you catch something out of the corner of your eye because you don't miss much. When Desmond speaks in his lycanthrope voice, as he is wont to do, the tiniest jolt goes through Nahara. You see her eyes like widen slightly when she hears it in a way that she doesn't usually. She gets it back together very quickly. But you absolutely clock it. That's reading people is what you do, Valentine.
I'm going to send a telepathic message to Nahara. You're doing all right.
I've been better. Since we've been here, I've been having some visions, some encounters.
Yeah. Okay.
It wasn't Desmond. Desmond's not it. It's just I saw something in my waking dreams that was a lycanthropic creature.
Oh.
I will say, this being a telepathic communication, if you wish to show Valentine what you actually saw, it is within your ability to do. If you intend to open your mind, if not, you could just talk about it.
I absolutely do. And so she sees that I look different and like even casting was different and that this creature came and she sees the entire encounter as I recall it. I don't know what this means.
Yeah, okay, that'll put you on edge. I haven't been having very restful evenings here either, but I would have expected them to be slightly more related, and they are not.
Have you been seeing anything differently since you've been here?
I've been seeing more, I suppose. I know that you're all aware that I'm not alone up here.
Right.
And most nights when I settle down, it looks sort of like this. And I'll just show kind of the cliffside with the eye in the sky. I'm used to that. That's what it's supposed to look like. But I'm usually there alone. And lately I am not.
How do you feel about that?
Exhausted, to be honest. It is, this place is a lot.
I do envy being able to sleep. I wish I would get a restful night.
Me too. I think that, I think we have something. It feels like something is just on the edge. It's built up the entire time that we've been here, and I just need resolution of some kind.
Yes.
Answers, I suppose.
Yeah. It's almost taunting.
What do you intend to do when we get to the Count?
I thought I knew before we got here. Now I'm not so sure.
Same.
Outside, you all hear a cheerful voice call out, "Hello, good morning, sleepyheads."
Do we recognize this voice?
You do. It's Rose.
Oh, hello, Rose. Pleasant evening.
I brought you something. Come out.
If you're going to keep coming, why didn't you just sleep in the barn with us?
I mean, don't threaten me with a good time, Tatiana.
Yes. How can we help you? What have you brought?
Is you presumably her voice is coming from outside, so presumably
Oh yes,
you're outside.
Yes.
Outside on the road, she is sitting atop a small carriage with Lucio, the Vistani. Two kind of sad, malnourished looking horses are hitched up to it. And she is still in the same riding leathers that you saw her yesterday. And she waves and she goes, "Lucio here was a darling and took me back to his village. Wonderful people. And I was able to acquire this baby. And I was just coming to find out if you all were heading my way. I'm going to the village of Barovia. I wanted to offer you a ride."
Brother Uriah, do you feel like you've done enough here to move on?
Yes. Although we were advised not to go to Barovia, the village, that is, immediately. There was another stop we'd been advised to make.
You can't get anywhere without at least going through Barovia. I mean...
Valaki. Are you going to Valaki?
Oh, I mean... after Barovia, yeah. I mean, and she rolls the map out, and sure enough, you can see your travel path. Unless you try and go all the way through the woods, it basically cuts right through the village of Barovia and perilously close to Castle Ravenloft. And only on the other side of that can you essentially break north to Valaki. It would be very difficult to get there without passing through, especially having realized what happens when you spend too much time in the woods.
Well, the woods are certainly treacherous, and I assume the roads are a bit safer when one is in a carriage. So, what does everyone think?
Huddle for a moment. If we're going to fight, you know who, do we look a little weak if we come on through and we say, "Hold on, not yet, we'll be back when we have reinforcements"? Just saying.
Yes.
Then again,
sure
going
about
all
that.
woods. I see what you mean.
I'm not sure if it's the right idea to wait or proceed, with full force, but at the very least, she's offering us safe passage.
Yes. Perhaps it's best if we don't linger in the village of Barovia, to pass through and make Valaki our first stop, as it were.
I recommend we all wear big hoods, just in case.
Desmond, what do you think?
Part of me worries that Rosa's gifts have something as far as strings that we don't know about yet, but safe passage is safe passage.
Right.
Don't look a gift carriage in the mouth.
There didn't seem to be any strings to the barbecue she brought that time.
That's true.
Yet. Like, I'm a fan of Rose.
I'm with
But
Desmond
I also
on this, though.
realize where we are. So I'm very concerned about the possibility of more.
Not even in our world, which come to find out was not the most horrifying place, do gifts just come as gifts. And now we are in what is correctly the most horrifying place in existence. So I agree that I do not trust that any gift is simply an act of kindness, but some are worth whatever strings come attached, and safe passage might be one of those today.
That's true. Strings seem to have been attached with us this entire time. But an opportunity is an opportunity.
Yes, it seems we're resolved then to accept Rose's offer, and we have been in this huddle a while now, so I think it might be a bit rude if we continue to do so.
I also get the feeling Rose.
Okay, but we should yell a word when we break.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yes.
Lycanthropes on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Lycanthropes.
Will we supposed to do the hand thing as well? Or,
Oh.
hello, Rose.
She does one late.
Supposed to do the hand thing.
Just look around. Just where? I don't.
No, that was
the colloquial thing.
There
Don't
was a
worry
thing.
about it.
Right.
Yes, we'd be
Safe
delighted. We'd be delighted to take you up on your offer, but we do think it best not to tarry in Barovia itself, the village. Do you have business there, or do you mind moving swiftly on?
I do have a quick stop to make. Should not keep us there very long at all. I really am more just sort of passing through. I'm seeing the sights, honestly. It's seems as good a place as any, but I do have just a brief appointment, and we can be on our way.
I'm sorry, did you say you're just seeing the sights in Barovia?
Sure, why not? As good a place as any, I suppose.
You do seem...
It isn't, but...
yes, of course. Right.
So, Lucio here, again, has volunteered his driving services. However, I know this is strange. I know the gift horses, blah, 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 and I've come bearing 2. So I'll let you all decide if one of you wants to drive, one of you wants to ride up front, if you want to ride inside. I mean, I always would love to spend more time with Desmond, but you've been so prickly the last few times. If you want me to stay outside, that's fine. Just you all tell me. However you want to do it is how we'll do it.
She's... You know her best, Desmond, but what arrangements do you think are appropriate?
Whichever is easiest. I'm not against her being around. Rose has been helpful. Just, I don't know. I think I've just been having issues trusting anyone that's not us.
That's fair.
She has not done anything to lose your trust, right? And you have known her almost as long as you've known us.
And who would I have known longer? That also had done nothing to lose my trust.
If I may.
Well, an important point of clarification. He's known her as long as he's known Finn, Nahara, and Uriah.
Sorry, that's what I said.
Tatiana,
We retcon.
Valentine, go way back.
Our new friends is what I said, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. You were speaking Druidic again.
All right, I suppose we should gather our things and load them in the carriage, and then we're off on the road to Barovia.
You see the older villager who originally you'd approached kind of comes forward with a basket of meager wares, some old bread, some hard cheese, even a little bit of sausage. It's cold comfort on the road, but you are certain it's the best they've got. He's like, if we could just do something to show our gratitude to you, healer. You all fought to defend us against that thing. Death itself was coming for us. We know. We saw his face. Please,
good people. I would not deprive you in your time of need. If you feel some recompense is due, then I ask only that you turn your hearts to the teachings of the Lady of the Mists, Ezra, and ponder them.
Do you have something we could read?
Brother Uriah, are you doing religious propaganda? We're supposed
just-
to be leaving.
I'm just giving out some
How
little
many
pamphlets.
times have we said you can't exchange healing in exchange for belief in your religion?
Well, I don't want to take their food.
Are
Just take these pamphlets.
Are these handwritten?
She's not wrong.
Beautiful.
They're handwritten and hand drawn. The little cartoons, as I call them.
His heart's in the right place.
But,
Whoa.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We'll ponder this because through you, Ezra has saved us all. So, thank you.
Indeed, I am
I
but
think this is
a vessel for her
problematic.
grace.
Perhaps when you pass back through, you could share more with us about this Lady of the Mist.
Take pamphlets from other gods. I don't.
It's not even that cool. I can tell you about squirrels. They have a god. It's called.
All right, everyone, we should probably just get on the road and
Yes, and with the blessings of the Morning Lord upon you and the Lady of the Mist.
He's good too. He's good too.
Yeah, right.
As we're getting everything, loaded into the carriage and everything, do you think? Well, actually, no. Because you're right. Nahara's actually brought it up with him before, so I'm not even going to make an insight. He'll just actually sort of find a moment when he can have a word with her. Nahara,
Yes?
are you sure you're all right?
I'm not all right.
Yes.
I'm not all right.
Do know that if you need to confide anything, I am here.
There's a lot that I need to speak to you about, but
Of course.
I would prefer once we have a little moment of privacy.
Yes, of course. Of course. I do not mean to press.
It's all right. Things have become a little bit complicated, and I needed some time to process, but I do wish to speak to you as soon as we have a moment alone.
Of course, I'm at your disposal. Well, I suppose we should make our way.
You see, when you come walking back, Rose kind of looks at the two of you and she's like, maybe you two want to sit up here and Lucio and I will ride with your friends inside? You can't miss Barovia. It's that way. Just hit the reins and the horse will walk.
All right.
All right. Yes.
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 She does hold her hand out for you to help her down, Uriah.
Oh, yes. Of course. Of course. Yes.
Yes, such a gentleman.
Yes.
Quick thing. How are Desmond and Tatiana with each other? Because I'm thinking if I can play my cards right, we can kind of make some memories while we're inside this carriage, I realize Valentine's probably a non-prospect, but I think we can kind of like fog up the timbers, if you know what I mean.
I wouldn't want to speak for them in this regard. You would probably best address that to them individually.
I mean, I'll let Valentine harm Lucio, and meanwhile, you know what?
Consenting adults?
Yes,
right.
I mean, if Lucio wanted that to happen, then of course that's his business. But I don't think you should just do that to him against his will.
I'm just going to say, if this carriage starts rocking, don't come knocking.
The energy's getting weirdly horny out here. What's going on? Are we leaving?
Nothing. We're just getting ready.
We're not leaving. We're coming. And she goes and gets into the carriage.
Do I hear this?
Absolutely, Tatiana. You
Didn't
hear
she
that?
just say
I
the
don't know what
energy was
she's
horny out
talking
there?
about. She's so crazy, everyone. Anyway, in the carriage, maybe.
It's going to be a very long ride.
Hopefully.
Dang it, that's another one.
Hopefully.
Oh, that was certainly colourful. Desmond's friend Rose seems nice.
Yeah.
I hope.
Nice. Friendly, certainly friendly. Yeah.
I hope they find what they're looking for.
Yes. So, would you prefer that I take the reins, or?
Sure.
Yes.
Um,
I've driven a cart before. I'm not specifically trained in this, but I'm remarkably good at it, oddly enough.
well, if the horses seem to give us any trouble, which I don't suspect they will, I should say a word with them. I could speak with him,
Oh,
but I
yes,
don't think you should
yes.
have any problem.
Good.
We do have other problems, though. We have other problems.
Yes. Horses don't like kippers, do they?
I don't believe so. Do you have
wait,
any apples or carrots?
I do have an apple. I can break this in half and give one half to each of them, and there you are, fellows, and let us be off.
Right as you pick up the reins and are about to crack them, the carriage is already slightly...
Wait, did you mean that in the front or the back of the carriage?
You're going to have to be specific because there's a lot of adults back here that get to make decisions about what happens next.
Yes. Consent and all that.
Consent is sexy. The carriage starts making its way down the dusty road. Yes.
Uriah.
Yeah?
I had a vision, several visions, since being here. Do you recall that crystal scrying orb that was given to me by the Weathermay Foxgrove sisters?
Oh, yes, yes. Certainly a very valuable item. And oh no, you didn't. You didn't, did you?
I had to.
Oh,
had
Nahara, it's terribly,
I know,
terribly ill-advised.
I know. It was dangerous, but I had to know.
And?
Please don't be mad at what I'm about to tell you.
I'm not mad. I mean, I'm just dreadfully concerned and slightly terrified. But go on.
So I saw the Count.
Yes.
And he very much saw me.
Oh, no.
And then he spoke.
What did he say?
He told me I was home and that this was my first life, and he called me beloved. And I don't know what that means. I don't know. I can't remember. I can't remember.
I mean, go on.
But if it's just by what he says, if I did love him at once, what does that mean? Both for us and the pact that I made.
Nahara, since I met you, you have always been seeking for knowledge of your past lives, and we know there have been many. If this is true, if what he said is true, then I cannot hold you to any promises you might have made when you did not know yourself. But you do not remember this.
I don't. I just know that how he spoke of me makes me think that perhaps, what if I did? And what if I did love him? But the thing that troubles me the most is that if I had loved him once, if I had, and I've forgotten, the thing that breaks my heart the most is the fear that one day I shall wake up and not remember you.
Nahara, know that I will always remember you. On this plane or the next, I could never forget you. And as I say, we're not sure if what he's said is truth. But if it was, and if you remembered a love, I could not keep you from it if that was your decision.
But I don't remember. The only thing that I know is my love for you. And
Thank you
that's,
heartily for saying so. I
don't want to live any other lives.
I feel the same. But what did you say about a pact?
With Azalin. Do you not know?
Yes, no, you had mentioned. I wasn't sure that was what you spoke of, but
I had made a promise that in order for me to remember, that I would help him in defeating the Count.
you, if I will recall correctly, came to me, my dear. He's here, isn't he? Yes, Uriah. Peace. Be silent.
Yes, I did come to you.
And have I been a cruel patron? Have I not offered power?
You have. My conflict isn't in what is not in the pact that I had made with you. It's in the complications that have come to light.
Then let me ask, my child, what is it that you wish? You came to me freely and of your own will. Do you imagine that I shall keep you prisoner? That is his way, not mine. He thinks you are his, but I know that you are your own. I don't like this talk. Quiet, boy. I am speaking.
I don't want to lose Uriah.
Very well. I'm sure we can both keep him safe. I can look after my quiet. Now then, we find ourselves on the road to Barovia. And what is your plan, my dear?
I don't have a plan yet. These are things I've only come to light moments ago. I don't know how to wrap my mind around them.
Very well.
I didn't even know that you could be here.
Oh, the connection is tenuous, to be sure. Speaking through my offspring is perhaps the limit of what I can achieve currently. But know that I am here, for I am the wellspring of your power. And I shall always be there for you if you wish. Nor will I claim you as a possession.
But the offer that you had made to me earlier still stands, I take it.
There is long history between your current host and myself. I would see things resolved, but the pieces are in play upon the board. We must react fluidly to a changing situation.
I agree.
Know that I am here Enough!
Are you all right?
Nahara, I'm sorry.
And she kind of puts her hand to his face.
It was different than before. He was barely there. I was even able to push him away.
Are you all right?
Yes. Yes, I'm fine. Are you?
Yes. Just know that whatever happens, that I have chosen you.
And I have chosen you. Thank you for taking me into your confidence. I know this must be very confusing and difficult.
For a brief moment, I relished when I was ignorant of everything. It's the price you pay. But you're worth it. And whatever other lives I've had and whatever had come to light, this is the life that I choose.
I am very glad to hear it. But you must take care. I know that my king is your patron. And his words are honeyed indeed. But he wants something. Perhaps it's not to claim you like a possession as others might, but he rarely does anything that does not benefit him in some way.
That has been the lesson since we've met, hasn't it?
And one can only hope that one's needs dovetail with his.
As long as you're safe.
As long as you are safe.
And Nahara, as you share this quiet moment, riding through the now lessening gloom of dawn in Barovia, you can't help but notice that the trees are filled with ravens that are all looking right at you. And that is a good place for us to take a little break. We'll do a quick 10. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome back to the Black Dice Society. Before we jump back in, as always, I want to thank our patrons. These are our top patrons, our Dark Lords of the Dread Domains: Aaron Duran, Alan Zozo, Aurelia Rolf, Black Watch, Ronan, Brad DeMont, Chris Lewis, the Pretzel Bear, Christopher Klindering, Craig Savage, Kralis, David Bonney, Donald Scott Massey, Ducati, Flannel Fries, Forrest S. Moore, Grafumbly, Guy Vanderbrink, Ian Brooks, Josh Olin, Just Link, Kyle Garrett, Lady Voronkova. I was like, Lady Voronika, what? Lady Voronkova. I'm like, what? She's everywhere. Matthew, Mecha Shiva, Mercy Malunas, Mr. Albert, Nathan Crowder, Nick Bernard, Nightcrawler, Packery 101, Patch, Project Wolf Bear, Reese, Reverse Aquamath, Ronan Monkey, Rosie and Sean at Sip Happens, Rumso Chicken, to Queen Bee, Valdemar, Night Road, War on Reality, Wee Nuckin' Futz, and Zort 1. Thank you all so very much. Once again, you literally make it possible to do what we do, and we appreciate you. Thank you. Meanwhile, inside the carriage, as you all load in and the door closes, Rose slides inside and just looks at all of you and says, anybody feel like playing?
What sort of games are you into?
Ooh, what sort of games am I not into? We wrestle.
You're on, and I tackle her.
How big is the carriage?
I imagine like my knees were up by my ears when I'm just trying to sit and not take up too much space.
There is enough for all of you in there, and there is a curtain that sort of draws right down the middle. And Tatiana, as you pounce on her, she just says, wait. We have to make sure that everybody wants to be involved first. So everybody who wants to have fun, come to this side of the carriage. And she definitely takes your hand and kind of shifts over towards the back, where you can see there are nicer cushions have been laid out on this thing that you can tell are very different from the layout of the rest of the wood of this carriage. Like, she's prepared for this. You were unmuted. Now you just muted.
Oh, there we go. This is distinctly premeditated, and as soon as Tatiana jumps, I cast Armor of Agathis and scoot into the opposite section.
She goes, whew, chilly. She goes, I still like it, though. But yes, Valentine, zone of safety, of course. I just wanted you to know that there's definitely room for you.
Will mold earth work on the curtain?
What is your intent with the curtain?
I cast levitate on the curtain, and then the bottom just sort of peels up, and then it sort of like scoots slowly on the rings.
Like while it's drawing close, she just says, well, it's a long trip. You can jump in whenever you want, Valentine. But Desmond, and she does just wrap her arm around Tatiana. Are you joining us?
Please do look comfy.
Is this a first on the D&D channel? We will see.
Let's.
Desmond slides over, and as Rose reaches over to pull the curtain, she just says, Valentine, if Lucio gets annoying, feel free to hurt him.
Okay, you can't make this suddenly a kink thing, actually. No, that's not what this is, and you're not going to skew what
Valentine, shh. Let Tatiana have her fun.
I just look over at Lucio and go, don't touch me, don't breathe on me, and don't look at me.
And he says, would it be weird if I try and peek through the curtain at least? I mean, I kind of made it.
Absolutely.
Okay, right. I'll just look at nothing. Right. As you start to hear, and there's grunts coming from the other side.
We're just wrestling over here.
I don't know.
You're strong.
I don't know if I'm winning or losing. The carriage begins to shake. And Valentine, give me a wisdom save. Wisdom save.
Great. Okay. That is an 11.
You can't block it out, Valentine. You just all of it. You just hear all of it. More than you ever wanted to know about your friends Tatiana and Desmond.
I have to keep traveling with you all after this.
Yeah,
Desmond, you came to this side of the curtain?
Oh yes.
of course.
Desmond went to that side of the curtain. Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh yes.
That wasn't a question. It was like the couch cushions just look so much better than the ones over here. So
Hold the wrestling for a moment. I have questions for Rose.
Pre-post or mid wrestling.
It's just wrestling right now, okay? So as you pop in and out of my friend Desmond's life here.
Wait, can we like talk about this after at least? We were just getting to the good part.
Fade to black. Fade up.
Meanwhile, again, Valentine, that same thing. Are you there for minutes? Are you there for hours? There's no windows on the carriage.
I would like to do my best to zone out and instead be in the weird, creepy cliffs with the god brain and the spooky eye staring at me because I am disassociating.
Unfortunately, that's what that wisdom save was. You get away, but you can't turn it off.
I failed to disassociate?
You're always aware of your surroundings, Valentine. Sometime later.
Speaking of being aware of one's surroundings, I assume a passive perception of 24 is...
Yeah.
The card
Am I on the
walking,
side
but it's
closest?
wrestling.
Am I on the side closest to the back of the cart, or am I on the side closest to where Nahara and Brother Uriah
the
are?
front. They're kind of like, just over you, essentially, is where they'd be seated, facing.
Valentine has, like, if there's any kind of little, like, slot where, like form of window is just, like, pressed her face up against it at some point.
Yeah, the two of you and a little Valentine face.
Yeah, Valentine, you probably hear, like, just... You know how when someone is hearing something embarrassing and they start to cough to try to cover it? So there's like a lot of coming from the outside of...
You guys are disgusting, but you can't be as disgusting as they are in here.
Do we notice Valentine?
Oh yeah, she's not being. I don't think she's trying to be subtle. Yeah, it is just like right. It's like Eric, like just to speak to the coachman type thing. Yeah.
Are you all right?
No.
There's probably room on this top bench up here if you want to.
No, don't stop. Don't
I
stop.
am going to slide up and try and sit directly between Nahara and Brother Uriah.
Just sandwiched in
clambering outside
between.
through the window.
The safe word is pineapple.
Yes.
I call this one the Mind Flayer's Hold.
Oh,
We're just wrestling.
and realizing what we're hearing and looking at Valentine's face. Oh goodness, I'm so sorry. Yes, right. Just and she like pats in between the spot. Yes.
Yep. I'm just
You
moving right, and I'm going between them because I refuse to let any more of these people get gross.
What is Lucio doing?
The moment Valentine sort of shimmies up through this hole, especially since Valentine is small, you see him immediately runs over and like puts his ear against the curtain and is like trying to at least make out silhouettes.
I knew he was a pervert.
But
I had a feeling.
He doesn't pull it out of the way though. Mm-hmm.
I just hope none of that wafts out towards us.
Yeah.
So when Valentine gets up between us, and at moments like when the carriage rocks or something like that, you probably hear Uriah muttering, "That's like I think that was a DDT." Yes, that's probably a full Nelson.
And Valentine just like stares at Brother Uriah for a minute.
I think someone just came off the top turnbuckle.
Somebody. Interesting choice of words.
I'm gonna make a telepathic link with Nahara and be like, didn't expect that from him.
You know, it's full of surprises.
I think I get it now.
Time.
For what it's worth, I'm sorry. What's going on back there? Awkwardness all around.
Some time later, when you are a tangled mass of sweaty limbs in the back, as Rose is just laying her head against your chest, Tatiana, with her legs kind of sprawled over Desmond, just says, "Yeah, so you were saying?"
Was I saying something?
You tried to. But...
Yes, Tatiana, you were going to ask her some questions. We can hear everything.
Well, her mouth was full. Don't make it weird.
Jesus.
I think you just did.
Oh, we made it plenty weird. Do you want me to pull the curtain back? Because you're welcome to.
No,
Actually,
I had to go up here and sit in between the party couple.
Does that mean Nahara's free to rotate back here? Are we tagging in and out? Is that what we're doing? Yeah.
You know,
Leave her
I'm
alone,
all right.
Rose.
My love life has just became very complicated. Thank you for the offer, and I very much shout that. Thank you for the offer, but I believe I'm still trying to deal with all of these. You know what? Too complicated.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's a lot. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Lucio, be a darling. Close that up there, please. And he's just like, you guys see that little porthole slide shut in between you.
Oh my goodness.
Something occurs to me. As we get, I assume they're finished in the carriage, but as we get closer to the village of Barovia, it might be best if Nahara, if you were not visible, if what you've said, you know.
But I'm supposed to. I mean, at some point I will get out of the carriage, and there's eyes everywhere. Do you think?
Well, in the village of Barovia itself, like within the shadow of Castle Ravenloft itself.
If I may, I might be able to help.
Yes.
Can you?
And I'll just place a hand on Nahara's shoulder and cast greater invisibility.
I will say I will let you do that essentially when you get to you're not quite there yet. You can kind of see it off in the distance, but yes, that you will be able to greater invisibility her before you get to the town.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Although very helpful.
Inside, does Tatiana have anything she wants to ask Rose?
Rose, you're a very attractive woman. You know this. But
it takes one to know one, darling.
Okay, well, the outside is clear, but the inside is a mystery. I know nothing about you except...
know quite a bit about...
let me finish. You pop in and out of Desmond's life. And now mine. Rose? It's serious conversation now.
Sorry, it's just, you're so cute when you're serious. Sorry. Yes, go ahead. Ooh, okay, yeah. Wait, no.
What is it that you want in the world?
I mean, at this exact second, I am feeling incredibly satisfied. I don't want anything. You two are... Whew, man, I wish I was traveling with you all the time. Can't imagine what those late night watches are like.
It's not usually like this, but I looked at Desmond. I don't know what that was.
It should be. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. No, I don't want anything. I just do things. That's all. I just like to have fun.
Yes, but for who?
I mean, right now, aren't all of you being sent somewhere to do something for somebody or multiple somebodies?
No.
I don't need details. You got your line of work. I got my line of work. Desmond, come on. Do we have to talk business right now? Really?
We're always talking business, to be fair.
She reaches out and traces her hand down one of your scars across your chest, Desmond. Where'd you get that one?
That was a battle with a group of people that were thieving from the village, or from the kingdom, really, but it was a village on the outskirts.
And she reaches over to you, Tatiana, where you have a long scar down your left side, and she's like, in this one?
A long blade, and do not know the name. It was serrated It ripped my skin apart. They sew it back after a few hours.
Desmond, what happened to those thieves?
What thieves?
That
What thieves?
in Tatiana, what happened to the fool that thought to harm you?
Well, this was, of course, in the fighting pit. Anything goes. But I am walking out of the fighting pit, and others not so lucky.
We three are not so different. There's times that there are people who need to not be. And there are those who can meet my price. And if it seems like fun, I do it. That's it. I assure you. And as she looks down at her body, she's perfect. It is like she has been carved out of stone and brought to life. She's like a work of art. I assure you, looks can be deceiving. I've got just as many scars as the two of you.
Then what
No.
are we seeing now, if not your truest skin?
Oh, I mean, we're not seeing your true skin right now either, Desmond. I think we both know that this is actually the mask, right? And you, Tatiana, when you have a blade in your hands and the rage flowing through you, that's the real you. Not that I don't particularly enjoy this kinder, softer you. This isn't your true face either.
You know, when I had a cursed axe and I swung it, there is no greater feeling.
I remember the house in Lamortia that's under the stairs, right? It's the axe found its way home. It always will. If you ever wanted to go back, you could retrieve it, but I don't think
See
you
things
want
like
that.
this. How do you know this?
You knew it.
Are you in my brain?
I mean, I have been greatly enjoyed this access to each other that we have shared here, but I assure you, your thoughts are your own. I only know what I see. I only know what I hear. Believe it or not, and I don't know if she can hear me, Valentine and I aren't so different. I think she likes to watch people and understand people, and I like to watch people and understand people, but I think the one
Not like
thing...
Lucio.
No.
We know you're there?
She does lean over to the curtain and she's like, ow! Like, I think the only difference between Valentine and I is her path has made her dislike people. My path has caused me to think people are fascinating.
I'm just gonna. You said you don't know if you can hear this. Can I hear this?
Give me perception with advantage. She did have Lucio slide the door closed, but this is your thing, so.
It is my thing, and my perception is pretty good. That is a 24.
Yeah, you at least, maybe every once in a while the carriage creaks or hits a rock or something, but you're getting the overall gist of what she's saying, up to and including saying that bit about thinking you and her are not so dissimilar, but she just thinks people are fascinating.
I'm just going to send her a telepathic message when she says what her path led her to and say, your path left you theoretically alive. Mine ended not so kindly with people, so I would reevaluate.
I didn't say you were wrong for feeling how you feel. I'm certain everything you have done up until now is what you had to do, both to protect yourself, to protect your friends, to get revenge, to amuse yourself, maybe all of those things simultaneously. Like I said, I understand.
Completely
That's
silent.
all telepathic?
That
Yeah.
was, yeah. Although I will say, you, Desmond, and Tatiana do see she turns her head to the front of the cabin, Like she's confused for a second, and then it's like, well, it can't be long now. Anything else you'd like to know? Anything else, Desmond, that you would like to know or ask? You always seem to have been desperate to keep me within arm's reach, if I dare flatter myself, and you have me for the time being. Although we probably need to prepare ourselves soon, or the town watch might arrest us for seeing us in such a state when we arrive. But I
should be so lucky.
For the moment, I am at least still at both of your disposal.
My final question is, as they work for hire, beautiful mercenary Rose, are any of your targets currently aboard this carriage?
No.
Then we have no problem. Including Finn.
I wish no ill upon Finn. I don't think she likes me, though. But I don't think she likes... Yeah, right. Right? Yeah.
Part of the course.
Finn likes very few people.
Right? You know, that's okay. I've come to realize you cannot make someone like you. You click or you don't. And quite often, the more you try to endear yourself to someone, the further you actually push them away.
You are full of many insights.
I've lived a long time. And I understand people. And
So you do.
She does start reaching to put her clothing back on. She's like, I will tell you both, I sincerely hope, either on this journey or the next one, that we get to spend some time together again. And she does lean over and kiss both of you individually before getting dressed.
Well, I feel like it's rude. I kissed Desmond.
Desmond just like... He just kisses her right back. Just...
Rose kind of looks at the two of you and she's like, I mean, we do have a few more minutes. Faye.
I think we're getting close to the village.
Slow down. Lucio, slow the horses down.
I'm the one driving.
Meanwhile, eventually, you all do start to approach the outline of a town. Tall shapes loom out of the dense fog that surrounds everything. The muddy ground underfoot gives way to slick, wet cobblestones. The tall shapes become recognizable as village dwellings. The windows of each house stare out from pools of blackness. No sound cuts the silence except for the mournful sobbing that echoes through the streets from a distance. The place feels very heavy and sad.
As we approach, I'll make sure I won't get any closer until Valentine has managed to cast greater invisibility upon Nahara.
I'm going to wait until like the very last second to utilize it for as long as possible because it's a relatively high level spell. And I can do it twice.
Is it 10 minutes or an hour on greater?
Let me find out. Anything the target is wearing, carrying is invisible. Duration is very short. It is 1 minute. Oh no!
I think regular invisibility is longer. She just can't do anything while invisible. If memory serves, I apologize.
What if
I have 5.5 editions of this game floating around in my head, so the spells become muddled.
Yeah, greater invisibility.
Yeah. So regular invisibility is an hour, but if you start fighting or interacting with objects, you will reappear. Greater invisibility, you can fight and do things and stay invisible. It just does not last as long. So if you want to put regular invisibility on her, that's okay.
I don't have regular invisibility, so
am I able to just cast minor illusion right in front of my face to just make it look like a different face?
You know, right? Dude, let's do this. Give
Like I can
me-
also minor illusion. I'll help.
Nahara.
I'll do the torso.
Nahara, give me.
So 5 foot
It's true.
to cover most of myself.
It's just
Yeah.
now you're 3 kobolds in a trench coat.
Yes.
Nahara, give me sleight of hand with advantage.
Okay. This should be okay for me.
And you can add a D4 because somebody's got guidance.
I've got guidance. I can guidance myself. That's a good thing that I don't remember to do. Okay, cool. So let's see. 16, 19 with the guidance.
Between you and Valentine, some minor illusioning, switching around pieces of clothing that you've got, some capes and things, they managed to tone down the devastating radiant beauty that is Nahara to a fairly unassuming looking Barovian, as long as nobody gets too close type thing. Yeah, the wings under the cloak actually give you the bearing of someone who is hunched over, so it actually works to your advantage.
And I'm very, very less sparkly
Yeah.
than normally appearing.
Yeah, again, you think anybody that got like right in her face might see, but otherwise she probably blend in with the people. Yeah.
Now, Rose, this business that you said you had, how long do you think it will take to conduct?
You see she pulls the curtain back and gets ready to exit the carriage. She says, shouldn't be too long, hopefully within the hour. Make yourselves at home. The people here are very nice. Actually, that isn't true. They're terrible. More accurately, they're terrified. But I believe in all of you. And she looks at you, Nahara, and she goes, and she starts to like rummage, and she pulls out a vial of a clear liquid, and she's like, here you go.
What is this?
When you need to not be seen, that'll take care of it. Yeah.
Got it.
No,
Thank you.
This works, but I mean, how are you going to hide this? I mean,
As her wings are like,
yeah,
but still pointy and behind her. Yeah.
She reaches to pull the cloak up over her head. She's like, believe me, I have to try and go unseen like this, and it's just not really,
Well,
yeah.
I thank you. And as Nahara just kind of peeks into the inside of that carriage, she like leans over to Valentine, is like, if we take that carriage again, please ride in front with us. Feel free to, because I don't know if you want to ride back there again.
Yeah,
Thank you. I'm starting to think maybe we should be separating them. I don't.
Leave the door open. Yeah.
I will wait until Rose has left on her way.
She does.
Whatever.
You see, she just...
Before she leaves,
yes.
Desmond kind of like leans into the door, like after everybody's walked away, and just, you still haven't given me like a real reason why you're helping us.
I like you. And I just want to see what happens. That's why I do most things. Just to see what happens.
So you're essentially chaos. Makes sense.
That's as good a description as any. And she does put her hand on the side of your cheek, and she says, I don't ever want to hurt you, Desmond. And turns and walks away.
Nahara, could I speak to you for just a moment?
Yeah, yes,
And you
of
see
course.
she does just like walk. She walks very confidently, but not down the middle of the street. She kind of like turns and moves like between a row of houses. Like she knows exactly where she's going.
Might I see that vial that Rose gave you?
Yes, if you could please check it. I'm not quite sure if I should drink bottle unmarked that somebody just handed me.
Well, it's not so much checking it as comparing it. And Uriah reaches into his pouch and pulls forth another vial that
It's the
he was
same.
given.
Yes, it's the same. Yes.
What is it?
I was given this quite a while ago by someone claiming to be a Darkonian noble. It is a potion that is used to hide oneself. There is a specific night in Darkon when spirits are said to be about, when it is said that the nobility of the city of Ilaluk use potions such as these to render themselves invisible until dawn and engage in all manner of depredations, but it is the same vial.
Do you think she's hiding herself? Her true self?
It could be. But you don't understand the worst of it. Do you remember when Isolde very nearly ended me? When she came close to slicing my head from my shoulders?
Yes.
With Nepenthe, yes. Well, it was because I'd had interaction with this being claiming to be a Darkonian noble, and according to her, it was nothing of the sort. It was, in fact, her quarry.
Uriah, I'm going to take cover behind you for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Just trust me. And as Nahara just kind of looks over towards Rose and kind of uses Uriah's height to kind of block her, she'll take out her orb to use the true sight to take a look about.
It was Oscanor Eris who appeared and gave you the vial from Darkon. Oscanor Eris. As you pull out the orb, in true sight radiates outwards from you, which pierces through all illusions and allows you to see things with absolute clarity. As Rose is about to turn the corner, right at the edge of your vision, she turns and she looks back at you, and the face is not the same. She has bright red skin, and she's beautiful, but she's too beautiful. She's too perfect, but her eyes are a little too big. Her smile is a little too broad. And she looks right at you and sees the orb, and she just very clearly looks disappointed and just kind of shakes her head and goes, oh, okay, and walks around the corner out of your vision.
Could I send a message to Rose?
Mm-hmm. She would, because the limit of your true sight is right about the limit of your message.
Why are you hiding from me?
I didn't know that you'd inherited such a device, or I would have taken greater precautions. It's not really my business to go around having people know who I am.
Well, now that we're all out in the open, who are you?
One question first. What made you think to use that to look? Where'd I slip up? Just as a professional courtesy, I'd like to know.
It is, please don't take offense to this, but throughout our journeys, it is very uncommon that we find people that just want to help out of the goodness of their hearts. So forgive me for being suspicious. But it seems as though you have not been forthright with us.
It's strange, really. And she does kind of stand right there at the edge of that corner and kind of crosses her arms. It is strange that I'm known by many names in many places, but I won't say that my generosity or benevolence are my defining traits. So it is truly funny to me that it is due to that I am undone here. I'll tell you like I told Desmond, Nahara, I don't want to hurt you.
I believe that a being such as yourself, had you wished us any harm, would have done so already. So why are you here?
Give me a persuasion check,
All
Nahara.
right. Mm-mm-mm. Ooh, that is a 24.
Well, she got a big old 1. You see, she pushes the hood back, and you can get a better view at her now. And again, she is everything that you would think you would fantasize about a beautiful woman. But again, it's too much. It's all just a little too much. Like when you look at a painting that is a little too good of a likeness and actually becomes unnerving because of it. Like she is a perfect facsimile. It is almost like if somebody had constructed the ideal female form without perhaps never actually having seen a woman, maybe only had one described to them.
Mm.
Her skin is red, but you notice as you look at her hair, it actually alternatively scintillates different colors, and it is almost like it is moving in a wind that isn't blowing as she stands there. She says, well, it's not really my business to speak of my business, but in a strange way, you all are the closest things I've had to companions in as long as I can remember, and I can remember quite some time. I am here because I can't quite seem to find my way out, which is not usually what happens. I come and go as I please, as you've seen. And I made my way here because it seemed interesting, like there was going to be work. Once I arrived, I am having difficulty departing. And that is why I am here in this town, to try and find a method of egress.
And how long have you been here?
I never much pay too much attention to the days. Not long. A week, 2. Longer than I'd like. And if I have my way, I will be departing post-haste. It isn't that Barovia doesn't agree with me as such. I think it is a delightfully awful place, really. But a cage is a cage, no matter how agreeable. And so I must escape it.
Then why us?
You're interesting. You must know you're interesting.
I feel that there's something behind that. Can I insight check that?
Absolutely. And you see, she actually turns and starts walking back towards the carriage. For the rest of you, you saw she was leaving. She's about to turn the corner. She stops and turns back around and looks at Nahara. She still very much is the beautiful brown-skinned woman to the rest of you, but starts coming back towards it.
That insight check was a 27.
You detect no deception from her. And she said you're interesting. She's telling you the truth.
And so you're really just trying to find a way out, just like us. And you have no ill will towards us.
I don't want to hurt any of you. And she walks back over, and to the rest of you, as you're kind of getting out of the carriage, she just says, I assume Nahara is going to tell you certain things as soon as I am out of earshot and eye shot, so why don't we just all have it out right here? And she changes in front of all of you, and you all see what Nahara saw with the orb.
It's different. I don't hate it.
She's like, actually, and she does come a little closer to you, Tatiana. She's like, I can be anything you want me to be. And she begins right in front of you to change into all manner of person, all manner of sentient, male, female, all shapes and sizes. She just like rotates through a Rolodex of them until finally she does turn into Oscar Aerith.
Yes.
And looks at you, Uriah, and she goes, That's how you got me. The vials, right? I thought surely you must have consumed it by now and disposed of the thing.
No, I thought it best not to trust something that was given to me
Well, for what it's
by
worth.
who I've learned you were.
Well, for what it's worth, it is exactly as advertised. It is a potion of invisibility. Actually, if you all don't mind, I would like to jettison this form. It is not particularly agreeable, and she changes right in front of you back to Rose.
I just don't understand why you show me this now.
She got me. I made a mistake. My
Do you
generous nature apparently got the best of me.
Well, I have a reason for being or choosing to become invisible at some point in this land. What is your reason of changing your appearance?
Where I go, what I do, oftentimes can set me at odds with people. And I leave. But, one, I might as well let you all know I'm having difficulty escaping the bonds of Barovia, uncharacteristically so. Even last night, I had Lucio take me back and try and escort me through the mist, but they were locked to both of us, so only then did we return home to his village to commandeer this cart, when after some motivation, they told me there should be someone here who could assist me, and knowing that I was traveling this way, I felt I would just offer you all a ride. Very glad I did, especially now. Although, of course, I do so hope we can still be friends.
You keep mentioning of this thing that you do. What is it that you do? If you don't mind me asking.
Whatever I want. I just like to see what happens. And on occasion, I'm asked to do what I want to certain people. That's all.
I see.
You mentioned to me that sentence, and I said, essentially chaos.
You
And I
understand
feel like
me,
that-
Desmond.
I feel that not only describes Rose, that really describes us as well. Because if you think about it, I'm sorry.
No, please continue your thought.
If you think about it, this whole trip, we wanted to go to a place and see a person, and we've done pretty much what we wanted to this whole time. We're coming here because we got an idea of where we should be. We get here and we do what we want. So
she
sounds about right.
Walks over to you, Desmond, and she puts a hand on your shoulder and she says, "Thank you. Thank you. For what it's worth, I personally have not harmed any of you."
It's true. Nobody said that. I just wanted to know a little more about you and why you chose to conceal yourself. But I do have the ability to walk through these mists. And should you be able to help us, we will help you.
Well, I'm definitely happy to at least be of some assistance, since I think we're all on the collision course with, and she turns, and right when she says that, the mists part, and you all see Castle Ravenloft right on the hill, jutting like a spear up into the sky. And she says, he's so dramatic.
Oh, it is rather an imposing edifice, is it not?
I would love to be of some assistance here, because I think the terms of our confinement are not so dissimilar. Although, now that we're putting our cards on the table, what is it that... Why is he so interested in you, Nahara? I haven't been able to figure that out yet.
It And she looks around hesitantly at the rest of her party, knowing that she's told Uriah and Tatiana.
Uriah puts a hand on her arm and is just imploring her with his eyes, like just.
No, you don't want.
I don't know.
Oh, wait, are you gonna let this big, strong man tell you what to do?
Nobody tells me what to do.
Did you just... It wasn't Brother Uriah you're calling big and strong, right?
Oh, he's a lion. Come, he's very brave.
I think you're great, Brother Uriah, but I do think that's a misrepresentation. You're
Oh
wonderful
no,
exactly
I quite
as
agree.
you are.
I'm tall, but I'm not very strong. But in any case, who can fathom? Who can fathom?
Comes in many forms, Brother Uriah. But fine.
As does manipulation. And
Again,
wouldn't I know it?
You would know, Valentine. I told you, you and I are not so dissimilar.
Sure, but I'm not manipulating the people in this room, so I
Aren't
suppose
you?
we don't have that in common. No, I'm not. They're one of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total that I'm currently not. They'd like me a lot better if I did. Trust me.
There are a lot of questions still unanswered. I cannot answer why exactly he is interested in me. While I have some ideas, none are confirmed. And that is the truth.
Well,
So then, Rose, do we still call you that? Do you still have business here, or may we move on?
oh, no, I have business here. I want to get out. And yes, I would love to assist you, but if I can find my egress in this town, I am taking it and leaving.
Oh, yes, of course. Well, you should probably
you won't need
attend
the
to that.
carriage.
You should probably attend to your business.
She kind of starts to back away from you.
Oh,
Yeah.
I want to grab her arm and say,
Mhm.
you should have shown me when I asked you. And then I fling her arm away and turn away. Haughtily.
You see, she actually does look at you for a second like this hurt her feelings. And she just very slowly walks up behind you and puts her hand on your back, Tatiana. And she says, I have many enemies. Many, many enemies. And I did not want to count you all among them.
Do not try and threaten me. Is that a threat?
It absolutely is not a threat. I just didn't want you to know because I didn't know how you'd react.
You say you've been watching us and you know us, and yet you think that we would care about a silly thing like that? I care more about being lied to.
Tatiana, let us have this discussion again after you tell Finn about me. And she's gone.
Oh, she's got the point there.
She does have a point. We cannot trust her. We cannot. She's some manner of fiend, and more than that,
Okay.
she's Fenn's quarry.
Well,
There we go.
Uriah, we have many friends who are undead. We can't have one friend who's a fiend.
Oh, you don't
I will say
understand.
the fiend shouldn't be the problem.
To be fair, didn't seem that she was being dishonest with me when I spoke to her.
Oh, but fiends, they know when to employ lies and when to employ the truth, the better to
So do
ensnare.
I.
Valentine, you have been touched by undeath. It is true, but fiends are another matter entirely. They are literally evil incarnate.
I
They
will
are-
not argue that we should trust her. I promise you that.
You thought everything undead was evil until they became your friends. Maybe you should give her a chance. She has still yet to betray us, though she did conceal her true self.
Well, speaking of friends, I'm not sure that our friend Fenn is going to take very kindly to us forming friendships.
These chickens have not hatched. I cannot worry about chickens that aren't alive yet.
Valentine. Hi. Treg
Oh,
perks
yes,
up.
no, there's I could tell. Thank you.
Might I have your permission to ask a number of additional questions?
To...
You?
Oh, sure.
Yes.
That was already a question. Go on.
Well, I said additional questions, yes.
There.
You might recall, and then Valentine, rapid fire through your mind, you see all the images of Isolde finding her friends dead. These great Eladrin warriors dead. In watching Isolde's heart slowly break and give way to bitterness until the moment that she's holding her brother there, wailing in the clearing, and then it stops. If Brother Uriah's supposition is true, and that is in fact a big if, and this Rose is the one that Isolde has been after, and by extension Finn is after now, this would be a being of some power and, of course, some usefulness.
I don't see anybody who is so untrustworthy being useful to us.
Well, I think we both know that trustworthiness and usefulness are two very different characteristics.
So I will rephrase. I don't see someone so unpredictable and difficult to control being useful to us.
Well,
So unless you have the ability to suck all of the free will out of her brain, like I understand is somehow within the capabilities, until then, I am not interested in being within her presence.
for what it's worth, your unpredictability and free will are strengths I've come to find, but so be it. Fine. We will not.
Yes. And those who cross me are in danger. So
I
don't want to be in that position around myself.
I, of course, live to serve. All hail the mighty Godbrain.
Tregram,
Hmm?
you have the ability to get into people's minds.
I am not without some capability.
What about hers?
Ooh. I might attempt, but if she is who she appears to be, again, she is a being of some power. I will try my most earnest, but I
Great.
fear that it may not be until the next time that you lay eyes on her that I can even hazard an attempt.
Well, the Guardians should keep an eye on her then, since they're not staying around us.
I will summon them forthrightly. They do, of course, need to wait for whatever this day-ish approximation is should end. They do need the night to move freely and openly. But I suppose it is an advantage because our adversary requires the night to move freely as well. Oh, no, that is not an advantage. Yes. Either way.
Do what you can.
Your will be done. All hail Godbrain.
All right. Well, it's better that we all know everyone. It's better for us all to have this information. And
Wait, hold on. You're saying, oh, but no, so Rose is, and then when she turned in, because that's who, oh. Okay.
Look,
Not a friend.
I'm honestly not sure if it's I'm safe to travel in her presence. This is going to seem somewhat out of character for me, but I suggest we steal the carriage and continue to Valaki.
Oh,
I think that's an excellent idea.
yes. I think it's safe to say that from here on out, we can only trust each other. And if anybody is to help us, that's of their own will, but we should always be on our caution.
Look, wrestling was fun and all, but she's deceitful.
Yes.
Yes.
Do you think we can trust Lucia?
And when you say that, you hear, and the carriage goes up in flames.
Boy, spell? Someone do something. Who has a spell?
And he is standing there holding a torch, and he says, "Yeah, she told me once she was gone to set the carriage on fire. Something like, yeah. Is that not what I was supposed to do?" I mean, she's very persuasive.
I am going to send my arms of Hadar to wrap around him.
Can I cast mold earth to just throw a bunch of dirt on the fire and try and put it out?
Excuse me. In my defense, it is my village's carriage, so destroying it should be my decision, not yours.
No decisions are yours at this time.
Well, I mean, I thought you said consent was sexy. That was you, right?
I don't think
I don't
knew.
He didn't know that lighting a carriage on fire was bad. We don't give him that kind of benefit of the doubt.
I think he's just dumb.
I squeeze it tighter around his throat. I have no ability to put this carriage out. If anyone else has the ability to, it is our only means of transportation. Otherwise, we are stuck here.
If any of you have the prestidigitation cantrip, it can extinguish flames, but it is going to
Little
take
bits at a time.
Yeah, right. You're like, yes.
Can I mold earth?
I can do that.
You absolutely can, and you mold earth to dump it over. There's some prestidigitation goes off to stop some of the fire, but it's wrecked. It is basically unusable.
Well, I suppose that's it.
With Lucio still wrapped in the like tentacles that come out of my eyes and ears and mouth, I just kind of pull some back into my mouth so that I can speak, and turn to Brother Uriah and go, "What would you all have me do with him?"
And like,
I think he was
I'm sorry.
in her thrall.
I had seen that he was just a normal.
He's just a guy.
Put him on a pointy peak of the castle and leave him up there.
I honestly don't think he knew any better.
I think he's innocent in this, Tatiana. He was used against his will.
He's a fool.
Yes.
Be that as it may.
Does that mean he deserves to die or anything?
I didn't say kill.
Yeah, but still.
From what I can tell, she didn't even have to use magic. She just told him to start a fire, and he did.
She could have been within her control.
Desmond looks at Lucio and just like, let him speak for a second.
I loosen it up on his throat.
Are you all right?
So, Lucio, did you get paid?
She made it worth my while, let's say. Hey, but listen, I still can help you all because could I get close enough to just say something that I don't want to do in broadcast?
I just pull him in a little closer with the tentacles, but I keep him wrapped in it.
You want to stay on the good side of the Vistani in these lands. I mean, there's a lot we can do for you. And
I'd like to make it very clear to you that if we decide that you are in any capacity a liability to us, you will not be making it back to the Vistani to alert them.
Valentine, please don't harm him. Please.
I think he's stupid, yes, but I don't think he meant us any harm.
Foolishness is a liability.
Perhaps, but I would not harm an innocent. I believe he is one.
And also, she probably did make it worth his while.
And beyond that,
he was paid for a service. He completed a service.
I'm
pretty sure we've all done that before.
I think there may have been some mental coercion as well. Fiends have the power to sway the minds of mortals.
And I'm going to pull him even closer to me and go, you are only alive because I willed it that you be released. So tell me what she could have possibly done to make it worth your while of risking me taking that will back.
You're some sort of psychic, right?
That's an awfully simple way to put it.
You want to see?
I'll open a telepathic link. Is it gross? Don't be gross.
You get a wave of images that aren't gross. You definitely get his own excited emotions where he was hoping, but what you actually see is Rose promising that she will deliver his tribe of Vistani to a new golden age, and that if they help her, she will heap mountains of gold upon them. And she threw out easily 10 years worth of gold from bags like it was nothing. And you see her very much in his face saying, you know, when all of this is over, I'm going to be so very grateful to whoever it is that helps me. And then the memory stops.
Such a simple man.
I am gold and beauty. What else is and power? What else is there? And all I had to-
Tentacle beings in caves that should have eaten your brain.
It seemed a fair trade. Give you all a lift and burn the carriage. Didn't seem that hard.
So we've been delivered here to Barovia. How far is Valaki from here?
Some distance on foot.
It seems we are stranded.
For now, yes. I don't blame him, though. This land is full of suffering.
And you do
Seen
still
it.
hear this wailing in the distance.
What is that sound?
Lamentation, it seems.
Shall we investigate?
I suppose we might.
It's just time to get, like, at least get an understanding of where we are before Finn gets back.
Yes.
I have everything I need.
Lucio, have you let him go yet?
Nope.
He's just like, would you like me? I'm telling you, you're going to need my help. You don't know.
I just
how it
start
works
walking
here.
and pulling him behind me with the tentacles.
Yeah. He's moving along. Mm-hmm.
Quietly.
Mm-hmm.
Lucio, I would suggest that you keep your own counsel for now. I will do my very best to advocate on your behalf, but every time you open your mouth, you're making things worse with Valentine.
And I'll just walk in the direction that y'all were heading to check out the noise.
Perfect here. Uriah, I asked you a question on Zoom there. I just need a bit of clarification on something. As you all make your way in, you intermittently hear doors slam as you come along. Any people that you make out anywhere along the roads, as they see you, they promptly run inside. I mean, there are some signs of life here. Some chimneys have smoke coming out of them. There's a couple of shops that appear to be open, but most of these places are boarded up and abandoned.
It is daytime, yes, or the equivalent.
It is day adjacent. By now it's about 10 a.m. You all set out kind of at dawn. It's about 10 a.m. if you had to wager. But again, as far as you all can tell, it gets dark at like 3. Like it's nothing. Like the sun only ever comes so high in the sky and immediately plunges back into darkness.
Even though it is day, just to be safe, I'm going to use my eyes of the grave, raise them as we move through the town.
As you move through Uriah, there's intermittent undeath everywhere. Several of these houses, you detect undeath coming from inside of them, but not all of them. Some of the ones that are boarded shut, you can detect it from. Others that just look like they're standing vacant.
Interesting. I'll let the others know. I don't want to alarm anyone, but there is a distinct undead presence in several of these houses.
Kind of lean in toward Lucio and just, is it common to have a lot of undead people in this town? We're new here.
He just sort of looks at you like he's going to open his mouth to say something, and then sort of like looks at Valentine like he's asking permission. He's like,
Answer their questions.
okay, great. Well, It's not uncommon. The plague comes through and takes who it takes, and oftentimes they come right back again. Nahara, as you have the orb in your hand, as you're walking through here, it takes a moment to adjust, but you realize you can see more than just through illusions and hidden things. You can see into a different plane of existence where there are legions, thousands of ghosts. There's every much as many ghosts here as there were in Mordant. Some of them are still going through the motions in the streets. Most of them still look hunched and stooped, their spirits just as broken in the next life as they were in this one.
With message, I'll say to Uriah, Uriah, there are spirits everywhere. They're all around us.
Does Nahara's description of where they are correspond to where I'm getting these hits from Eyes of the Grave?
No, Nahara sees them everywhere. You are picking up essentially pockets of undeath inside some of the houses.
They are
I'll
surrounding us.
And you
It's
also, I will tell you, well, that's more than 120 feet, so never mind. Yes, okay. Yeah.
It's somewhat different from my perspective. I'm not sure I'm detecting the spirits that you are. That there seem to be pockets of them. Is it specifically in boarded up houses?
Not all of them. Not all of them are in boarded up houses, but they are all,
Okay.
even the ones that aren't boarded up at least look abandoned.
Then I'll basically point them out. It's like, oh, there's some over there. There seems to be some in that one there. And yes, it's not as uniform as you describe.
And can I point out to Uriah like exactly where I see all of
It would honestly, it would be easier to show where there's not ghosts. I mean, the town is fairly large. It's one of the larger towns that you all have been to, but again, it seems very, very, very underpopulated.
Oh, yes, well, Uriah, do you see that little doorstep in that house, the third one to the right?
Yes.
There aren't any there,
Do I detect undead there?
but everywhere else.
No, actually. Not to that house, but what you do see on that house, Brother Uriah, is a very crudely painted symbol of the Morning Lord with Lathander Protect Us written in an uneven hand across the house.
Interesting. Perhaps does it look like it's an actual warding, or it's more just a non-spellcaster painted this?
Basically, yeah. It seems more out of desperation than skill.
Is there any symbol that's...
The symbol of Lathander, which I would say Uriah definitely recognizes. Lathander's very common where on the prime material plane in Faerun. Actually, I would say, Nahara, you recognize it as well. Let me make sure that I describe it accurately here to you. Lathander's symbol looks basically like a sun rising over the horizon, essentially.
but different from the symbol that was on the medallion that I carry.
Yes, it is a different kind of sun. That what you've got is almost like a silver 5-pointed thing with a gem in the middle. Lathander's symbol looks kind of like a jeweled sun coming up over the horizon. Very similar sun iconography, but not the same. Yeah.
These good folk, they depend on the Morning Lord to protect them from the depredations of the night. I wonder if there was perhaps a priest among them. We might be able to confer with them.
Maybe.
In the meantime, we should probably check out the source of the aforementioned lamentations.
As you all continue making your way through the town, again, having doors slam as you come along. You eventually reach a moaning sob floats through the still gray streets, coloring your thoughts with sadness. The sounds flow from a dark 2-story townhouse. It is about 40 feet square, and it is boarded up, but you detect no undeath from inside this house.
This place seems clear. From the sounds of things, there is cause for sorrow within.
I walk up and try the door.
The door turns like it is unlocked, but immediately like bumps something, like it has been barricaded from the inside.
Barricaded against Tatiana? I think not, and I shove it.
Give me your athletics, Tatiana.
First roll in the night for Tatiana.
No, it's not the first roll of the night for Tatiana.
I said roll, not romp. Dirty 20.
Yes, you're right. No door can withstand Tatiana. And you push, and you see the furniture moves out. And inside, you see Actually, you don't see anything. You see a dusty, lived-in house. It is quaint. The furniture is small. There is very little besides the logs in the fireplace that have burned down to embers to reveal that somebody is in here. Although you hear the crying from upstairs, but once you kind of push the door open, you just hear a voice call out, Gertruda? Gertruda? Have you come home?
Hello, the house. We just wanted to make sure everything's all right.
I don't have any money.
Oh, we're not burglars or ruffians. Do you need help?
Are you just a sad person? Is that all? Everyone's sad here. Why is he crying so loud?
You're not here about Gertruda then?
Not that we know of.
We don't know a Gertruda. I'm sorry.
At the top of the stairs, you see a very pale, haggard woman sort of peek around the corner, and she is clutching to her chest a doll, a malformed doll with a sackcloth dress and a strange leer on it. And she just holds it out to you all and says, please help me find my baby. And
Is that your baby?
Is a good place for us to stop. Thank you all so much. Sorry for the technical snafus at the beginning. Have a good night.